In the restricted archives of the Smithsonian Institution, Dr. Margaret Thornfield discovered a collection of documents that had been sealed for over a century. The files contained research that had been deemed too dangerous for public knowledge, studies that challenged the very foundations of human genetics and evolution. At the center of these forbidden documents was a case study that had been deliberately erased from scientific history, the Whitaker family of rural Virginia. The Whitaker case represented one of the most comprehensive studies of isolated human populations ever conducted, but it had been suppressed not because of ethical concerns or methodological flaws, but because the findings threatened to overturn fundamental assumptions about human development and the nature of genetic inheritance itself. Dr. Thornfield, a geneticist specializing in population studies, had been granted access to the restricted archives as part of her research into historical genetic anomalies. She had expected to find routine documentation of early eugenic studies, but what she discovered was far more disturbing and scientifically significant than anything she had anticipated. The Whitaker family had lived in complete isolation in the mountains of Virginia for over 2 centuries, maintaining a closed population that had resulted in extreme levels of inbreeding. What made their case extraordinary was not the genetic consequences of their isolation, but the unexpected adaptations and abilities that had emerged from their unique evolutionary path. The original research had been conducted by Dr. Cornelius Blackwood, a geneticist and anthropologist who had stumbled upon the Whitaker settlement in 1895 while conducting a survey of remote Appalachian communities. Dr. Blackwood's initial interest had been purely academic, but his discoveries had quickly attracted the attention of government agencies and scientific institutions that recognized the potential implications of his findings. According to Dr. Blackwood's notes, the Whitaker family had been founded by 3 siblings who had fled religious persecution in the early 1700s. They had established their settlement in a remote valley that was virtually inaccessible to outsiders, creating a community that had remained completely isolated from the outside world for nearly 200 years. The isolation had resulted in a population of approximately 40 individuals who were all descended from the original 3 founders. The level of inbreeding was extreme, with genetic diversity reduced to levels that should have resulted in severe disabilities and early death. Instead, Dr. Blackwood discovered a population that exhibited remarkable adaptations and abilities that seemed to defy conventional understanding of human genetics. Dr. Thornfield found Dr. Blackwood's initial observations both fascinating and disturbing. The Whitaker family members displayed enhanced sensory capabilities that exceeded normal human ranges. Their hearing was so acute that they could detect sounds at frequencies beyond normal human perception. Their vision allowed them to see clearly in near total darkness, and their sense of smell was comparable to that of wild animals. But the sensory enhancements were only the beginning of the anomalies that Dr. Blackwood documented. The Whitaker family members demonstrated cognitive abilities that were unlike anything in the scientific literature. They possessed perfect memory, able to recall every detail of their experiences with absolute accuracy. Their pattern recognition skills were extraordinary, allowing them to perceive connections and relationships that remained hidden to normal observers. Most disturbing of all were the reports of what Dr. Blackwood termed collective consciousness phenomena. The family members seemed to share thoughts and experiences in ways that suggested some form of telepathic communication. They could coordinate complex activities without verbal communication, and they appeared to have access to each other's memories and knowledge. Dr. Thornfield realized that she was looking at evidence of human evolution that had taken a completely unexpected path. The extreme inbreeding that should have been devastating to the Whitaker family had instead resulted in the concentration and amplification of genetic traits that were normally dispersed throughout the broader human population. The implications were staggering. If the Whitaker case was genuine, it suggested that human genetic potential was far greater than previously understood, and that the diversity that characterized normal human populations might actually be limiting the expression of extraordinary abilities that could emerge under specific conditions. Dr. Blackwood's research had continued for 3 years, during which he documented the daily lives and abilities of the Whitaker family with scientific rigor. His notes revealed a community that functioned according to principles that were completely alien to normal human society, yet which seemed to be highly effective and harmonious. The family operated as a collective organism, with individual members specializing in different functions while maintaining constant communication and coordination with the group. They had developed technologies and techniques that were far in advance of anything available in the outside world, using their enhanced abilities to manipulate their environment in ways that seemed almost supernatural. Dr. Blackwood documented their ability to predict weather patterns with perfect accuracy, their success in cultivating crops in soil that should have been barren, and their apparent immunity to diseases that regularly devastated other populations. The family members lived significantly longer than normal humans, with some individuals reaching ages that exceeded 120 years while maintaining physical and mental capabilities that would be remarkable in someone half their age. The genetic analysis that Dr. Blackwood conducted revealed chromosomal structures that differed significantly from normal human patterns. The extreme inbreeding had resulted in genetic configurations that were stable and self-reinforcing, creating biological systems that were more efficient and robust than those found in genetically diverse populations. Dr. Thornfield found evidence that Dr. Blackwood's findings had attracted the attention of government agencies that recognized the potential military and strategic applications of the Whitaker family's abilities. Secret funding had been provided to expand the research, and additional scientists had been brought in to study different aspects of the family's unique characteristics. The expanded research team had included specialists in neurology, psychology, and physics, all working to understand the mechanisms behind the family's extraordinary abilities. Their findings had been even more disturbing than Dr. Blackwood's original observations, revealing capabilities that challenged fundamental assumptions about the nature of human consciousness and perception. The neurological studies had shown that the Whitaker family members possessed brain structures that were significantly different from normal humans. Their neural networks were more densely connected, with patterns of electrical activity that suggested forms of information processing that were far more sophisticated than anything found in typical human brains. The psychological evaluations had revealed cognitive abilities that exceeded the normal range of human intelligence by orders of magnitude. The family members could solve complex mathematical problems instantaneously, understand multiple languages without formal education, and demonstrate artistic and creative abilities that seemed to emerge spontaneously without training or practice. Most disturbing were the physics studies that had attempted to understand the apparent telepathic abilities that the family displayed. The researchers had documented electromagnetic phenomena that seemed to be associated with the family's communication, suggesting that their enhanced neural structures were capable of generating and detecting electromagnetic fields that could carry information between individuals. Dr. Thornfield realized that the Whitaker case represented evidence for forms of human potential that had been completely unknown to mainstream science. The family's abilities suggested that human consciousness and intelligence were far more malleable and expandable than previously understood, and that the genetic diversity that was normally considered essential for human survival might actually be preventing the emergence of extraordinary capabilities. The implications for human evolution were profound. If the Whitaker family's adaptations were genuine, they suggested that humanity might be capable of developing abilities that would fundamentally transform the species. The telepathic communication, enhanced sensory perception, and extraordinary cognitive abilities that the family displayed could represent the next stage of human evolution. But the research had been abruptly terminated in 1898, and all documentation had been classified and sealed. Dr. Thornfield found evidence that the decision to suppress the research had come from the highest levels of government, with concerns that the findings could destabilize society and threaten existing power structures. The official justification for the suppression had been ethical concerns about the study of an isolated population, but Dr. Thornfield found internal documents that revealed the true reasons for the cover-up. Government officials had been terrified by the implications of the research, recognizing that the Whitaker family's abilities could represent a threat to normal human civilization. The fear was that if the knowledge of the family's capabilities became public, It could lead to attempts to replicate their genetic conditions through controlled breeding programs. The potential for creating enhanced human populations with superior abilities was seen as too dangerous to allow, particularly given the military and strategic advantages that such populations could provide. Dr. Thornfield discovered that the Whitaker family had been relocated to a government facility where they could be studied in complete secrecy. The official records indicated that the family had agreed to the relocation voluntarily, but Dr. Thornfield found evidence suggesting that they had been coerced or deceived about the true nature of their new situation. The facility where the family had been taken was described in the documents as a research center dedicated to studying genetic anomalies, but Dr. Thornfield realized that it was actually a prison designed to contain individuals whose abilities were considered too dangerous for society. The family had been isolated not for their protection, but to prevent their capabilities from spreading to the broader human population. The research at the facility had continued for decades, with successive generations of scientists studying the Whitaker family's abilities and attempting to understand the genetic mechanisms that produced their extraordinary capabilities. The studies had become increasingly invasive and experimental as researchers tried to identify ways to replicate or enhance the family's abilities in other populations. Dr. Thornfield found evidence of breeding experiments that had been conducted using members of the Whitaker family, attempts to create new genetic combinations that might produce even more extraordinary abilities. These experiments had been conducted without the knowledge or consent of the family members, representing a level of ethical violation that shocked even Dr. Thornfield's scientific sensibilities. The breeding experiments had produced several generations of enhanced individuals who displayed abilities that exceeded even those of the original Whitaker family. These enhanced humans possessed capabilities that seemed to border on the supernatural, including apparent psychokinetic abilities, precognitive awareness, and forms of consciousness that operated on levels beyond normal human experience. But the enhanced individuals had also displayed characteristics that made them difficult to control and potentially dangerous to their handlers. They seemed to possess an understanding of their situation that exceeded what they should have been able to comprehend, and they demonstrated a level of coordination and planning that suggested they were working together to escape their confinement. Dr. Thornfield found reports of several incidents where the enhanced individuals had demonstrated abilities that had not been previously documented. They had been able to influence electronic equipment through unknown means, causing surveillance systems to malfunction and security measures to fail. They had also displayed apparent telepathic abilities that allowed them to communicate with each other across great distances, coordinating their activities despite being kept in separate facilities. The most disturbing reports described incidents where the enhanced individuals had seemed to influence the thoughts and behavior of their handlers, causing researchers and security personnel to act in ways that were contrary to their training and instructions. These incidents had led to increased security measures and the development of new containment protocols designed to prevent the enhanced individuals from using their abilities to escape or influence others. Dr. Thornfield realized that the government facility had essentially become a laboratory for the creation of superhuman beings, with each generation of enhanced individuals displaying capabilities that exceeded those of their predecessors. The research had continued for over a century, producing individuals whose abilities were so far beyond normal human capacity that they represented a completely different form of life. The implications were terrifying. If the enhanced individuals ever escaped from their confinement, they would possess abilities that could allow them to dominate or manipulate normal human populations with ease. Their superior intelligence, telepathic abilities, and apparent psychokinetic powers would make them virtually unstoppable by conventional means. Dr. Thornfield found evidence that the enhanced individuals had indeed been planning their escape for decades, using their superior intelligence and telepathic abilities to coordinate their efforts across multiple facilities. They had been studying their captors, learning about the outside world, and developing strategies for survival and expansion once they achieved their freedom. The most recent reports in the classified files indicated that several enhanced individuals had successfully escaped from the facility in the 1990s, using abilities that had allowed them to bypass all security measures and disappear without a trace. The government response had been to increase security at the remaining facilities and to launch a covert search for the escaped individuals, but these efforts had been largely unsuccessful. Dr. Thornfield realized that the escaped enhanced individuals might still be at large, possibly working to free their remaining family members or to establish their own communities in remote locations. Their superior abilities would make them extremely difficult to detect or capture, and their understanding of human psychology and behavior would allow them to blend into normal society while pursuing their own agenda. The possibility that enhanced humans with superhuman abilities were living among the normal population was both fascinating and terrifying for Dr. Thornfield. These individuals would possess capabilities that could allow them to influence or control normal humans in ways that would be completely undetectable, potentially shaping the course of human civilization according to their own desires and goals. Dr. Thornfield found evidence that the government had been monitoring various individuals and families who displayed unusual abilities or characteristics that might indicate enhanced human heritage. These surveillance programs had been operating for decades, attempting to identify and track potential enhanced individuals while maintaining complete secrecy about their existence. The surveillance had identified several families and individuals who displayed abilities that were consistent with enhanced human characteristics, including exceptional intelligence, apparent telepathic abilities, and unusual longevity. These individuals had been monitored continuously, but no direct action had been taken against them due to concerns about revealing the existence of the enhancement program. Dr. Thornfield realized that the enhanced humans might have been reproducing and spreading their genetic advantages throughout the normal human population for decades. If their abilities were heritable, it was possible that significant numbers of people might carry enhanced human genes without being aware of their true nature or potential. The implications for human evolution were staggering. If enhanced humans were successfully integrating with normal populations and passing on their genetic advantages, it could represent the beginning of a fundamental transformation of the human species. The superior abilities that had been concentrated in the Whitaker family through extreme inbreeding might be gradually spreading throughout humanity through more conventional reproductive patterns. Dr. Thornfield found evidence that some researchers had theorized that the enhanced humans were deliberately working to upgrade the human species, using their superior intelligence and abilities to guide human evolution toward a more advanced form. This process would be gradual and subtle, taking place over many generations, but it could eventually result in a human population that possessed capabilities far beyond anything currently imagined. The possibility that human evolution was being secretly guided by enhanced individuals raised profound questions about free will and human autonomy. If superior beings were manipulating human development for their own purposes, to what extent were normal humans making their own choices about their future? Were the great achievements of human civilization the result of natural progress, or were they the product of manipulation by beings who possessed capabilities beyond normal human understanding? Dr. Thornfield discovered that the classified files contained references to other isolated populations that had been studied by government researchers, suggesting that the Whitaker family was not unique. These other groups had apparently developed different types of enhancements and abilities, creating a diverse range of superhuman capabilities that had emerged from various forms of genetic isolation and concentration. One particularly intriguing case involved a family in the remote mountains of Montana who had developed enhanced physical capabilities that bordered on the superhuman. These individuals possessed strength, speed, and endurance that exceeded normal human limits by extraordinary margins. They could lift weights that should have been impossible for human physiology, run at speeds that approached those of wild animals, and maintain physical activity for extended periods without showing signs of fatigue. The Montana family had also developed enhanced healing abilities that allowed them to recover from injuries that would be fatal to normal humans. They could regenerate damaged tissue, heal broken bones in a matter of days, and recover from illnesses that would require weeks or months of treatment for normal individuals. Their lifespans were significantly extended, with family members regularly living well beyond 150 years, while maintaining the physical capabilities of individuals decades younger. Another case involved a family in the swamps of Louisiana who had developed enhanced sensory abilities that allowed them to perceive their environment in ways that seemed almost supernatural. These individuals could detect the presence of other living beings from great distances, navigate through complete darkness with perfect accuracy, and predict weather patterns and natural disasters with uncanny precision. The Louisiana family had also developed what appeared to be enhanced intuitive abilities that allowed them to understand complex situations and make accurate predictions about future events without conscious analysis. They seemed to possess a form of precognitive awareness that enabled them to anticipate dangers and opportunities before they became apparent to normal observers. Dr. Thornfield realized that these various enhanced populations represented different evolutionary paths that had emerged from genetic isolation and concentration. Each family had developed abilities that were adapted to their specific environment and circumstances, creating a diverse range of superhuman capabilities that demonstrated the vast potential that lay dormant within human genetics. The existence of multiple enhanced populations suggested that the phenomenon was not limited to a single genetic lineage or environmental condition, but represented a broader pattern of human evolution that could emerge under various circumstances. The extreme inbreeding that had characterized these isolated populations had apparently served as a catalyst for the expression of genetic potential that remained hidden in more diverse human populations. Dr. Thornfield found evidence that government researchers had attempted to create artificial conditions that might replicate the genetic concentration that had produced enhanced abilities in isolated populations. These experiments had involved controlled breeding programs designed to concentrate specific genetic traits while minimizing the negative effects typically associated with inbreeding. The artificial breeding programs had achieved limited success, producing individuals who displayed enhanced abilities that exceeded normal human capacity but fell short of the extraordinary capabilities demonstrated by naturally isolated populations. The researchers had concluded that the natural process of genetic concentration that occurred in isolated populations involved factors that could not be easily replicated in laboratory conditions. The failure of artificial breeding programs to fully replicate natural enhancement had led researchers to focus on other approaches to human enhancement, including genetic modification techniques that could directly alter human DNA to produce desired characteristics. These experiments had been conducted using advanced genetic engineering technologies that were decades ahead of anything available to mainstream science. Dr. Thornfield discovered that the genetic modification experiments had produced some remarkable results, creating individuals who possessed specific enhanced abilities that had been deliberately engineered into their genetic code. These artificially enhanced humans displayed capabilities that were more focused and specialized than those found in naturally enhanced populations, but they also seem to lack the comprehensive integration of abilities that characterized natural enhancement. The artificially enhanced individuals had been used in various government programs that required superhuman capabilities, including military operations, intelligence gathering, and scientific research. Their enhanced abilities had provided significant advantages in these applications, but they had also created new challenges related to control and containment of individuals who possessed capabilities that exceeded those of their handlers. Dr. Thornfield found reports of several incidents where artificially enhanced individuals had used their abilities to escape from government control or to pursue their own agendas in ways that conflicted with their intended purposes. These incidents had led to increased security measures and the development of new control mechanisms designed to prevent enhanced individuals from acting independently. The challenges associated with controlling enhanced individuals had led some researchers to propose that the most effective approach to human enhancement would be to upgrade entire populations rather than creating small numbers of enhanced individuals. This approach would eliminate the power imbalances that created control problems while ensuring that the benefits of enhancement were distributed throughout society. But the implementation of population-wide enhancement would require overcoming enormous technical and logistical challenges. The genetic modification techniques needed to enhance large numbers of people were still largely experimental, and the social and cultural changes that would be required to accommodate enhanced populations were unprecedented in human history. Dr. Thornfield realized that the question of human enhancement had become one of the most important and controversial issues facing modern civilization, even though the vast majority of the population remained completely unaware of the research and experimentation that had been conducted in secret for over a century. The enhanced humans who had emerged from isolated populations and government experiments represented the vanguard of a transformation that could fundamentally change the nature of human civilization. Their abilities demonstrated possibilities for human development that challenged every assumption about the limits of human potential, while also raising profound questions about the future of the species. Dr. Thornfield found evidence that enhanced humans had been working to influence the direction of human development through subtle manipulation of scientific research, technological advancement, and social change. Their superior intelligence and understanding of human psychology allowed them to guide human civilization toward outcomes that served their own purposes while remaining invisible to normal human awareness. The influence of enhanced humans on human development had apparently been occurring for decades, with their involvement in major scientific discoveries, technological breakthroughs, and social movements that had shaped the course of modern civilization. The accelerating pace of technological advancement and social change that characterized the modern era might be the result of enhanced human influence rather than natural human progress. Dr. Thornfield realized that the enhanced humans might be preparing humanity for a fundamental transformation that would elevate the entire species to new levels of capability and consciousness. This preparation was taking place gradually and subtly, allowing normal humans to adapt to new technologies and social structures that would be necessary for enhanced human civilization. The process of preparation might involve the gradual introduction of enhancement technologies that would allow normal humans to develop superhuman abilities without the genetic concentration that had characterized isolated populations. These technologies could include genetic modification techniques, cybernetic implants, and consciousness expansion methods that would upgrade human capabilities across multiple dimensions. Dr. Thornfield found evidence that some of these enhancement technologies were already being developed in secret research programs that operated outside normal scientific channels. These programs were apparently funded and directed by enhanced humans who possessed the knowledge and resources necessary to advance human enhancement far beyond what was possible through conventional research. The secret enhancement research had produced technologies that could enhance human intelligence, extend human lifespan, and provide humans with abilities that approached those of naturally enhanced populations. These technologies were being tested on selected individuals who had been identified as suitable candidates for enhancement, creating a growing population of artificially enhanced humans who possessed capabilities that exceeded normal human limits. Dr. Thornfield realized that she might be witnessing the beginning of a new phase of human evolution, one that would be guided by enhanced humans who possessed the knowledge and abilities necessary to transform the entire species. This transformation would represent the culmination of centuries of genetic experimentation and technological development, resulting in a form of humanity that would be fundamentally different from anything that had existed before. The implications of this transformation were both exciting and terrifying. Enhanced humans would possess capabilities that could solve many of the problems that had plagued human civilization, including disease, aging, resource scarcity, and environmental degradation. But they would also possess the power to reshape human society according to their own vision, potentially eliminating the freedoms and values that had defined human civilization for millennia. Dr. Thornfield found evidence that enhanced humans had been debating among themselves about the best approach to human transformation, with different factions advocating for different strategies and timelines. Some enhanced humans favored a gradual approach that would allow normal humans to adapt to enhancement over many generations, while others advocated for more rapid transformation that would quickly elevate humanity to enhanced status. The debates among enhanced humans had apparently become increasingly intense as enhancement technologies advanced, and the possibility of species-wide transformation became more realistic. The outcome of these debates would determine the future of human civilization and the nature of the enhanced humanity that would emerge from the transformation process. Dr. Thornfield realized that her discovery of the classified files had placed her in a unique position to influence the direction of human enhancement and transformation. Her knowledge of the history and capabilities of enhanced humans gave her insights that could be valuable to both enhanced and normal human populations as they navigated the challenges of species transformation. The responsibility that came with this knowledge was overwhelming. Dr. Thornfield understood that the decisions she made about how to use the information she had discovered could have profound consequences for the future of humanity. She could choose to reveal the existence of enhanced humans to the normal population, potentially triggering social upheaval and conflict, or she could work to facilitate the transformation process, helping to ensure that it proceeded in ways that benefited all of humanity. Dr. Thornfield found herself questioning her own motivations and capabilities as she grappled with the implications of her discovery. She wondered whether her interest in human enhancement was purely scientific, or whether she had been influenced by enhanced humans who recognized her potential value to their cause. The possibility that her thoughts and decisions were being subtly manipulated by superior beings was both disturbing and fascinating. The question of enhanced human influence on her own thinking became more pressing as Dr. Thornfield noticed changes in her own cognitive abilities and perceptions. She found herself understanding complex genetic concepts with unusual ease, making connections between seemingly unrelated pieces of information, and developing insights that seemed to come from sources beyond her conscious awareness. The possibility that exposure to information about enhanced humans had triggered latent abilities in her own genetic makeup was both exciting and frightening. If she was developing enhanced capabilities, it could mean that the potential for superhuman abilities was more widespread in the human population than previously understood, and that the transformation of humanity was already beginning to occur on a broader scale. Dr. Thornfield realized that she was becoming part of the story she was studying, transitioning from an outside observer to an active participant in the process of human enhancement and transformation. Her role in this unfolding drama would be determined by the choices she made about how to use her knowledge and abilities, and by the extent to which she was willing to embrace the possibilities and responsibilities that came with enhanced human status. As Dr. Thornfield delved deeper into the classified files, she discovered evidence of a global network of enhanced humans who had been working together for decades to guide human evolution and prepare for species-wide transformation. This network operated through a complex system of hidden communications and coordinated activities that spanned multiple continents and involved individuals in positions of power and influence throughout human society. The global network of enhanced humans had apparently been established in the early 20th century, as escaped individuals from various government facilities and isolated populations made contact with each other and began coordinating their efforts. The network had grown steadily over the decades, recruiting new members from among naturally enhanced individuals and those who had been artificially enhanced through secret research programs. Dr. Thornfield found evidence that the enhanced human network had been responsible for many of the major technological and scientific advances of the past century, working behind the scenes to accelerate human development and prepare the species for transformation. Their influence could be detected in the development of computers, telecommunications, biotechnology, and space exploration, all of which had advanced at rates that exceeded what would have been expected from normal human capabilities alone. The enhanced humans had also been working to influence social and political developments, promoting ideas and movements that would create the cultural and institutional frameworks necessary for enhanced human civilization. They had been involved in the promotion of human rights, environmental protection, and international cooperation, recognizing that these values would be essential for a peaceful transition to enhanced human status. Dr. Thornfield realized that the enhanced human network represented a shadow government that operated parallel to normal human institutions, wielding influence that exceeded that of any conventional political or economic power. Their superior intelligence and abilities, allowed them to manipulate events and outcomes in ways that remained invisible to normal human awareness, shaping the course of human civilization according to their own long-term vision. The existence of this shadow government raised profound questions about the nature of human freedom and democracy. If enhanced humans were secretly controlling major decisions and developments, to what extent were normal humans actually governing themselves? Were the democratic institutions that defined modern civilization merely facades that concealed the true power structure that governed human society? Dr. Thornfield found evidence that some enhanced humans had expressed concerns about the ethical implications of their hidden influence over human civilization. These individuals argued that normal humans had the right to know about the existence of enhanced humans and to participate in decisions about the future of the species. They advocated for a gradual revelation process that would prepare normal humans for the truth about enhanced human existence and capabilities. But other enhanced humans argued that normal humans were not ready for such revelations, and that premature disclosure could lead to panic, conflict, and the destruction of human civilization. They favored maintaining secrecy until enhancement technologies were sufficiently advanced to allow for rapid transformation of the entire human population, eliminating the potential for conflict between enhanced and normal humans. The debate between transparency and secrecy had apparently created significant tensions within the enhanced human network, with different factions pursuing different strategies and sometimes working at cross purposes. These internal conflicts had complicated the network's efforts to guide human development and had led to disagreements about the timing and methods of species transformation. Dr. Thornfield discovered that some enhanced humans had begun working independently of the main network, pursuing their own agendas for human enhancement and transformation. These rogue enhanced humans represented a potential threat to both the network's plans and to normal human civilization, as their actions could expose the existence of enhanced humans before humanity was prepared for such revelations. The activities of rogue enhanced humans had led to increased surveillance and security measures by both the main network and government agencies that were aware of enhanced human existence. These efforts to monitor and control rogue enhanced humans had created a complex web of competing interests and conflicting agendas that threatened to destabilize the careful balance that had been maintained for decades. Dr. Thornfield realized that the enhanced human community was not the unified force that she had initially imagined, but was instead a diverse collection of individuals and factions with different goals, methods, and timelines for human transformation. The outcome of the conflicts between these different groups would determine the nature and pace of human enhancement and the future of both enhanced and normal human populations. The complexity of enhanced human politics and the potential for conflict between different factions added new layers of uncertainty to the future of human civilization. Dr. Thornfield understood that her own actions and decisions could influence the balance of power between different enhanced human groups and could help determine which vision of human transformation would ultimately prevail. As Dr. Thornfield continued her research, she began to receive subtle communications that seemed to come from enhanced humans who were aware of her investigation. These communications took the form of anonymous messages, unexpected encounters with individuals who displayed unusual knowledge and abilities, and synchronistic events that seemed too meaningful to be coincidental. The communications suggested that enhanced humans were monitoring her research and were evaluating her potential value as an ally or threat to their cause. Dr. Thornfield realized that she was being recruited into the enhanced human network, but she was uncertain about which faction was attempting to influence her and what they expected from her in return for their knowledge and support. The recruitment process was subtle and sophisticated, designed to gradually introduce Dr. Thornfield to enhanced human capabilities and perspectives, without overwhelming her or triggering resistance. She found herself being exposed to information and experiences that expanded her understanding of human potential, while also demonstrating the vast gulf that existed between enhanced and normal human consciousness. Dr. Thornfield began to understand that her discovery of the Whitaker case had not been accidental, but had been orchestrated by enhanced humans who recognized her potential value to their cause. Her academic credentials, research expertise, and psychological profile had made her an ideal candidate for recruitment into the enhanced human network, and her investigation had been guided from the beginning by forces that remained largely invisible to her conscious awareness. The realization that she had been manipulated was both disturbing and enlightening for Dr. Thornfield. It demonstrated the extent of enhanced human influence over normal human activities and decisions, while also revealing the sophisticated methods they used to identify and recruit individuals who could serve their purposes. She began to question whether any of her choices and actions were truly her own, or whether they had all been influenced by enhanced human manipulation. But Dr. Thornfield also recognized that her recruitment into the enhanced human network provided her with unprecedented opportunities to understand and influence the future of human civilization. Her position as a bridge between enhanced and normal human populations could allow her to help shape the transformation process in ways that would benefit all of humanity, ensuring that the transition to enhanced human status would be peaceful and inclusive rather than divisive and destructive. The enhanced humans who were recruiting Dr. Thornfield seemed to recognize her potential value as a mediator and communicator who could help prepare normal humans for the revelations and transformations that lay ahead. They provided her with access to information and technologies that were far in advance of anything available to mainstream science, while also giving her the freedom to make her own decisions about how to use this knowledge. Dr. Thornfield realized that she was being offered a choice between remaining a normal human with limited knowledge and capabilities, or embracing enhancement and joining the network of superior beings who were working to transform human civilization. The decision would determine not only her own future, but could also influence the fate of the entire human species. The choice was complicated by the fact that Dr. Thornfield was beginning to develop enhanced abilities of her own, whether as a result of genetic activation triggered by her exposure to enhanced human information, or through more direct intervention by the enhanced humans who were recruiting her. Her cognitive abilities were expanding, her perceptions were becoming more acute, and she was beginning to experience forms of consciousness that transcended normal human awareness. The development of enhanced abilities was both exhilarating and frightening for Dr. Thornfield. She could feel her mind expanding and her understanding deepening in ways that exceeded anything she had previously experienced. But she was also aware that these changes were separating her from normal human experience and making it increasingly difficult for her to relate to her former colleagues and friends. Dr. Thornfield understood that she was undergoing the same transformation that had occurred in the Whitaker family and other enhanced human populations. But in her case, the process was being guided and accelerated by individuals who possessed advanced knowledge of human enhancement techniques. She was becoming a bridge between the old humanity and the new, carrying within herself the potential to help guide the species through its next evolutionary leap. As her abilities continued to develop, Dr. Thornfield began to perceive the world in ways that had been impossible for her normal human consciousness. She could sense the electromagnetic fields generated by living beings, detect patterns and connections that remained invisible to normal perception, and access information through channels that operated beyond conventional sensory input. The enhanced perception allowed Dr. Thornfield to understand the true scope of the enhanced human network and the complexity of their operations. She could see how they had been influencing human development through subtle manipulations of key individuals and institutions, guiding the species toward outcomes that served their long-term vision for human transformation. Dr. Thornfield also began to understand the challenges and dilemmas that faced the enhanced human community as they worked to guide human evolution. They possessed the knowledge and abilities necessary to transform humanity into something far greater than its current form, but they also recognized the risks and dangers associated with such a fundamental change to the nature of human existence. The enhanced humans were deeply divided about the best approach to human transformation, with some advocating for rapid change that would quickly elevate humanity to enhanced status, while others favored a more gradual approach that would allow normal humans to adapt to enhancement over many generations. The outcome of this debate would determine the future of human civilization and the nature of the enhanced humanity that would emerge from the transformation process. Dr. Thornfield realized that her unique position as someone who was undergoing enhancement, while maintaining connections to normal human society, made her valuable to all factions within the enhanced human community. She could serve as a bridge between different perspectives and help develop approaches to human transformation that would be acceptable to both enhanced and normal human populations. The responsibility of this role was overwhelming, but Dr. Thornfield also recognized the unprecedented opportunity it represented. She could help shape the future of human civilization in ways that would ensure the benefits of enhancement were shared by all of humanity, rather than creating a divided species where enhanced humans dominated normal human populations. As Dr. Thornfield continued to develop her enhanced abilities, she began to receive more direct communications from the enhanced human network. These communications revealed the existence of hidden facilities where enhanced humans were conducting advanced research into consciousness expansion, genetic modification, and technological augmentation of human capabilities. The research being conducted at these facilities was decades ahead of anything available to mainstream science, utilizing technologies and techniques that had been developed through the combined efforts of enhanced human intelligence and capabilities. The goal of this research was to develop methods for safely and effectively enhancing large numbers of normal humans, preparing for the eventual transformation of the entire species. Dr. Thornfield was invited to visit one of these facilities, where she could observe the enhancement research firsthand and contribute her own expertise to the development of transformation technologies. The invitation represented both an honor and a test, as the enhanced humans evaluated her commitment to their cause and her potential value to their long-term goals. The facility was located in a remote area that was completely hidden from normal human awareness, protected by advanced technologies that made it invisible to conventional detection methods. The research being conducted there involved the systematic study of enhanced human abilities and the development of techniques for replicating these capabilities in normal human populations. Dr. Thornfield was amazed by the sophistication of the research and the advanced technologies that were being developed. The enhanced humans had created methods for directly modifying human consciousness, expanding cognitive capabilities, and integrating technological augmentations with biological systems in ways that seemed almost magical to her normal human understanding. The researchers at the facility explained that they were working to develop a comprehensive enhancement protocol that could be applied to large numbers of normal humans simultaneously, allowing for rapid transformation of entire populations without the risks and dangers associated with gradual enhancement processes. This protocol would represent the culmination of decades of research and would make possible the peaceful transition to enhanced human civilization. Dr. Thornfield realized that she was witnessing the preparation for one of the most significant events in human history, the deliberate transformation of the entire human species into a form of life that possessed capabilities far beyond anything that had previously existed. The enhanced humans were preparing to reveal themselves to the world and to offer normal humanity the opportunity to join them in transcending the limitations that had defined human existence for millennia. The revelation would represent a fundamental turning point in human civilization, marking the end of normal human dominance and the beginning of a new era of enhanced human consciousness and capability. The outcome of this transformation would determine whether humanity would fulfill its vast potential or would remain trapped within the constraints that had limited human development throughout history. Dr. Thornfield understood that her role in this transformation would be crucial, as she would serve as one of the primary bridges between enhanced and normal human populations during the transition period. Her knowledge of both forms of human consciousness would make her invaluable in helping normal humans understand and adapt to the changes that would be required for successful enhancement. The Whitaker family's legacy lived on in Dr. Thornfield and in the countless other individuals who were beginning to awaken to their enhanced human potential. Their story served as a reminder that human evolution was not a process that had ended with the emergence of modern civilization, but was an ongoing transformation that would continue to unfold in ways that challenged every assumption about the nature and destiny of the human species. Dr. Thornfield realized that her investigation into the forbidden case of the Whitaker family had revealed truths about human potential that were too profound and transformative for society to ignore. The enhanced humans who had emerged from genetic isolation and government experimentation represented the vanguard of a new form of humanity that would redefine what it meant to be human in the 21st century and beyond. The classified documents that had been hidden for over a century contained the blueprint for human transformation, revealing the genetic and technological pathways that could elevate humanity to levels of capability and consciousness that had previously been confined to the realm of science fiction. The suppression of this knowledge had delayed but not prevented the emergence of enhanced humans who possessed the power to reshape human civilization according to their own vision. As Doctor, Thornfield embraced her role in the unfolding story of human enhancement and transformation. She understood that she was not just studying a scientific phenomenon, but was participating in the next chapter of human evolution. The discoveries she made and the choices she faced would help determine whether humanity would embrace its potential for enhancement and transcendence, or whether it would remain trapped within the limitations that had defined the species for millennia. The forgotten case of the Whitaker family had been banned from scientific knowledge, not because it was false or dangerous, but because it revealed truths about human potential that challenged every assumption about the nature and destiny of the human species. Their story continued to unfold in the hidden world of enhanced humans who worked behind the scenes to guide human evolution toward a future that would transcend every limitation that had previously defined what it meant to be human. The legacy of the Whitaker family would continue to echo through time, inspiring those who encountered it to question the limits of human potential and to explore the vast possibilities that lay hidden within the human genome. Their story served as a bridge between the past and the future, connecting the isolated family that had first demonstrated the potential for human enhancement with the enhanced humans who were working to guide the species toward its ultimate destiny. In the end, the forgotten case of the Whitaker family represented more than just a scientific curiosity or a government cover-up. It was a glimpse into the future of humanity, a preview of the extraordinary capabilities that could emerge when human genetic potential was allowed to develop, without the constraints that normally limited human evolution. Their story challenged anyone who encountered it to imagine a future where the boundaries of human capability were limited only by the scope of human imagination and the courage to embrace transformation and transcendence. The truth about the Whitaker family and the enhanced humans who had emerged from their genetic legacy would eventually be revealed to the world, but only when humanity was ready to accept the responsibilities and possibilities that came with superhuman abilities. Until that time, their story would remain hidden in classified files and secret research programs, waiting for the moment when enhanced and normal humans could work together to create a future that would fulfill the vast potential that lay dormant within the human species. Dr. Thornfield's discovery of the Whitaker case had opened a door to a hidden world that operated according to principles that transcended normal human understanding. The enhanced humans who inhabited this world possessed capabilities that made them living proof of humanity's potential for transformation and transcendence, carrying within their genetic code the blueprint for a future that would redefine what it meant to be human in ways that exceeded the wildest dreams of science and imagination. The voice of the Whitaker family, speaking through the classified documents that had been hidden for over a century, carried with it a message about the vast potential that lay dormant within human genetics. Their story suggested that the boundaries of human capability were far more flexible than anyone had previously imagined, and that the future of the species might hold possibilities that exceeded the wildest dreams of science fiction. As Doctor, Thornfield prepared to make her final choice between remaining normal or fully embracing enhancement. She understood that she was standing at a crossroads that would determine not only her own destiny, but the future of human civilization itself. The path she chose would help shape the transformation of humanity from a limited species bound by biological constraints to an enhanced form of life capable of transcending every limitation that had previously defined human existence. The Whitaker family's story would continue to unfold through Dr. Thornfield and the countless others who would follow in their footsteps, carrying forward the legacy of human enhancement and transformation that had begun in an isolated valley in Virginia over 2 centuries ago. Their genetic heritage lived on in the enhanced humans who were working to guide the species toward its ultimate destiny, ensuring that the extraordinary potential they had first demonstrated would eventually be realized by all of humanity. The moment of revelation was approaching, when the hidden world of enhanced humans would finally emerge from the shadows and offer normal humanity the opportunity to join them in transcending the limitations that had defined human existence for millennia. The outcome of this revelation would determine whether humanity would embrace its potential for transformation and transcendence, or whether it would remain trapped within the constraints that had limited human development throughout history. Dr. Thornfield understood that her role in this unfolding drama would be crucial, as she would serve as one of the primary bridges between the old humanity and the new, helping to guide the species through the most significant transformation in its history. The choices she made and the actions she took would help determine whether the transition to enhanced human civilization would be peaceful and inclusive, or whether it would be marked by conflict and division. The legacy of the Whitaker family would continue to inspire and guide those who sought to understand and fulfill the vast potential that lay hidden within human genetics, serving as a reminder that the boundaries of human capability were limited only by the scope of human imagination and the courage to embrace transformation and transcendence.